Okay, so nothing important in the chat. I'm just looking a little scruffy. So, hey, welcome to the team call. I'm super excited to be sharing with you guys and to also be sharing on this call with these amazing coaches. We got Jennifer Greenberg, Lori Vela, Jenny Haushin, and Kendra Fletcher. The idea for this call was... Let me mute everybody real quick. The idea for this call was originally brought up by Kendra, wanting to talk about the importance of Summit. Each of us has been to Summit before, has our own personal stories with it, and we want to share with you why you should be there. Even if you're a brand new coach, even if you've never thought about going yet before, our end goal is that you decide to come hang out with us at Summit. And each of us will have individual stories, and I'll start with mine. We'll jump right into it because 5 speakers, and you guys know I get talking sometimes, so I got to end in like 10 minutes. So I'm just going to jump right into mine. I remember the first year Summit was for me, it was going to be in California. I signed up in April of 2011. Summit was in Southern California in June. So April, May, June. It was like 2 months into my journey. My coach invited me to come, and I was ready to go, but I could not get the time off from work. I had no more free vacation days allotted that I could leave. So it was technically impossible for me to go my first year because of work. But I decided that was one of those things that pushed me to say, like, hey, you know what? This really sucks. Like, even though my job is great and it has great benefits and it's taking care of my family for the past few years, I think it's crap that I can't go to something when I want to go, So I was unable to go. I watched the pictures of everybody there, and I made the decision I'm going to be there next year. And I remember my first Summit, just to give you guys an idea, I think there was about 6,000 coaches there. And, you have to realize I'd never been to anything like this before. I've always been, I've been working on my business for a solid year, listening to my coach, Lindsay Matway, doing her weekly team calls. I got to speak on maybe one of them that year. And so everything Beachbody for me was online. It was webinars, video conferences, watching YouTube videos, watching training videos like many of you guys are doing. So when I got to Summit, I remember the opening ceremony. It absolutely, I'll just say it blew my mind. I walked in there and, Carl was on stage and Jeff Hill. And it was kind of like, I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of like a big production. And the way I felt in that meeting when Carl was up there speaking and seeing 6,000, 6,500 other coaches just like me excited about life. I mean, think about when you're on a call with your coach or you're on one of these calls and it's one of those feel-good calls and you're like, this is it. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. Or you maybe listen to the Nashville Wake Up Call and you feel that. And now imagine that amplified by like 6,000 people. That's how I felt. Amplified by 6,000 people. It wasn't on a video. It was in person, rubbing shoulders with people. It was absolutely amazing, that feeling that I had there. And, there was workshops. And to be honest with you, I don't remember any specific things that I learned in the workshops. I know that may sound bad, but the thing that I do remember is that I had set a goal to hit Success Club 10 every month. And I was able to go across the stage as a Success Club 10 All-Star. And what I do remember is that there were some 15-star diamonds and some millionaires with Beachbody that were also Success Club 10 All-Stars. So I was lined up behind stage with them, and I got to stay. We were back there for like 30 minutes before it was our turn to go up for recognition. And I just remember sitting there looking at all these people, and I was like, wow, like all of these people have these incredible, huge businesses and do this full time. And just being in their presence, I realized, and just having simple conversations with them, I was like, wow, they're like no different than me. They all have their own individual stories. They all work super hard. They all do the same thing I do, going for Success Club every single month. But by doing that month after month after month, and for them year after year after year, they have these incredibly huge businesses, multi-star diamond coaches, and, and some of them millionaires. It was just a moment for me where I was like, wow, this is a real thing. And these are real people just like me. And that's what helped me believe that I could go on to the next level, because in our minds, we set these limits on what's possible for us. And what I've seen is when I meet somebody in person, I realize that they're no different than me and that they've gotten to that next step. But if I follow the steps, the things that they're doing with my own sauce added to it, I can get there as well with time. And I remember specifically a conversation with Josh Spencer, who was a top coach of 2010. So he got recognized on stage. He got recognized for his accomplishment of top 10. And I ran into him in the bathroom, right? And after we got out of the bathroom, we talked. And it was just a moment where I was like, wow, this guy is a top 10 coach. I could totally, I don't even need to be the top coach like him. I could be in the top 10. Like if this guy right here is a top coach, I could definitely make the top 10. It was simply from a conversation. And he also opened my eyes just in that conversation on the benefit of me hitting Success Club, the benefit of me building my business and my wife's business. So I got these little moments right there on how to build my business to the level that it's at. And thanks to some of those rubbing of shoulders, we'll call it, at Summit, with these leaders behind the stage and the leaders on stage for I was getting recognized as a diamond. And then, conversations in the hallway, we'll call them hallway conversations, like I had with Josh, like I had with, I remember with Billy, with Lindsay, my coach Lindsay Matway's husband, Billy, I remember walking somewhere with him and having a conversation, and it was him. It wasn't him telling me what to do for my business. It was like, can you imagine next year when you're going to be at this point? And I was like, I hadn't even imagined or thought about next year. I was like in that moment, and he helped me just by that simple conversation look further into the future, what was possible for me, which made me work harder as well. So like I said, I went to the workshops. I remember learning. I remember sitting in them. I remember how I felt in them, but I don't remember a single thing that I got taught in there. But I do remember how I felt with these conversations I had, like with Josh and with, in the back, I'll name some names. It was Janelle Summers, Wayne Wyatt, Christine Dwyer, all these top coaches and now millionaires with Beachbody. I just got to stand in line with them, talk with them, get to know them as people, and it made me believe it was possible for me. So even though I'm from a small town in Idaho and was still at that point very shy, I was very nervous to be talking with him. And after talking with him, I realized that I didn't need to be nervous. So it was just a great experience for me like that. And that was just my first year summit, guys, and that was 6,000 coaches. It was incredible. It felt incredible. I remember the next year I went, and I'll tell you guys one last thing before I go. That summit, I spent that whole year talking about Summit. You guys have seen me talk about Summit. Like every team call, I mentioned Summit. And there's a reason for that. The book GoPro talks about our job is to get people to events. And when you get them to events, that's when they get more fully ingrained into their own goals and their own dreams and building their team. And so my first summit, I was able, not the first one, the first one was pretty much me on my own with just a couple of my coaches. The second year, we brought 50 coaches with us. And the third year, we brought 150. And this year, we have about 800 coaches from our team coming to Summit already. So what that's done is by getting these coaches to Summit, and and the reason I'm saying bring these coaches to Summit, because these 4 ladies that you see on this slide with me right here are all ladies that I invited to come to Summit, that I said, hey, you need to be at Summit to build your business. And they are all Star Diamond and building their businesses very strong. And every single one of them is a full-time coach now that has left their corporate job. Jennifer worked a full-time job. Lori was an attorney. She left her job. Jenny was a professional dancer and a personal trainer. She left her job. And Kendra, as we know, left her job, and she's out there enjoying life with those 2 kids, not ever missing a moment. So the reason is, guys, they came to Summit. The reason I'm at where I'm at, because I got these coaches to come to Summit with me and to see that bigger vision of the importance of being to events. The one thing that I want you guys to know, that I want you to write this note down, and it ties into what one of my coaches asked me today about why do I need to be a diamond? What's the benefit of me being a diamond coach? And my answer was simple. It wasn't because you make $18 per cycle versus 14. It's because he has a goal to take care of his wife who has some medical problems, and to leave the military and be able to take care of her full time. And to do that, I know that he's got to build a business and become an elite coach. Become an elite coach, first become a diamond, a Star Diamond, premier elite. And I told it to him as simple as this. If you want to be an elite coach, a 5-star diamond coach, you'll never be there until you become a diamond coach yourself. Right? So the same thing goes with, if you guys want to grow your business and to get your team growing their businesses as well, they'll most likely never go to Summit if you never go to Summit. So the same applies to a diamond. If you want to be a diamond, if you want to be a 5-star diamond or a 3-star diamond, first step is you've got to become one yourself so that you can show others how to do that on your team. Same thing goes for Summit. If you want to grow a huge team, or you want to have one day 50 coaches at Summit, or maybe the next year you want to have 100 or 800 one day, it starts with you going first so that you can share your experience and grow your business and show them, hey, this is what happens when you go to Summit. So I am going to pass the time over to, I'm going to stop the share here real quick, and we're going to pass the time over to Jennifer Greenberg. So Jennifer, you can go ahead and unmute yours and talk. And if you have a slide, I'll need to make you the host real quick. So just let me know.
Okay, I don't have a slide.
Okay, perfect.
Hold on. Okay. Hey, everybody. It's so good to see you all on here. Okay, so I did not go to Summit my first 2 years as a coach. And for some reason, I have this history of taking about 2 years to actually do something that Scotty tells me to do. Like, it was the same way with personal development and some other things where he told me, I've got to do personal development, and I didn't do it. And he told me I needed to get Success Club, and I didn't do it. It's like a 2-year waiting period before I listen for some reason. But I think I've shortened the gap now. But anyways, for those of you guys that know a little bit about my story, my husband was not originally on board with Beachbody and wasn't very supportive of me pursuing this for myself. And so that's really the main reason why I didn't go in the beginning. And we had just filed bankruptcy and we're going through foreclosure and repossessions when I joined as a coach. So we had literally no money. Like, whatever is below no money is where we were. And so my business was doing okay, and it was starting to kind of gain traction and stuff. But there was like the first year, there was like absolutely no way that he would let me go. Then the next year, even though I was starting to see a little bit of success, we just couldn't really, we couldn't do it. So then the next year came, and I had just given birth to my son. He was born in March, and Summit was in June. So it was just about 3 months after I had my first baby and after I had left my full-time job in May as a paralegal. So while, yes, I was starting to be successful, we were still struggling financially because of our bankruptcy and having to get things back on track. And since I left my job as a paralegal, we were still pretty much living paycheck to paycheck because Mike was a police officer, so that wasn't bringing in a lot of income. So, we had to make that decision as to, were we going to make the investment of Summit? Were we going to go all in and just do it? And the answer is yes, we did. And it totally changed the direction of our team. Before going and going to Summit, none of my team ever really committed to going to events at all, like Super Saturdays or the Success Club trip. Like, they didn't really put anything like that on their radar until that first year that we all went to Summit together as a team. And that event really unified us together and made the connections that we had online. It just kind of made it more real and really solidified everything that we had created together. So even though we couldn't necessarily afford it, making that investment was repaid us 10 times over again. And we weren't able to necessarily live the Vegas life while we were there. But we did one thing that was super cool, and we got a like a party bus, and we invited our team to go, and they all contributed. So it wasn't us paying for the whole thing, but we had them, and we went out, and it was like did this tour of Vegas, and went to, you know, some of the landmark places like the Bellagio fountain and the pirate show thing, and then we had like a team dinner. So we, you know, fronted the cost on a credit card, and it was scary because we did not have any way to necessarily pay that back. So we were just kind of hoping that all these people that we knew from online were going to come and meet us in Vegas and actually pay us the money to, you know, that we had all agreed on to split it or whatever. But it turned out to just, you know, to be really amazing. And it just kind of grew my belief in, you know, what was possible with Beachbody. And like Scotty was saying, I don't necessarily remember anything that I've learned from the workshops or anything like that. It's really those like conversations that we had, you know, after the workshops and after the general sessions, and, you know, meeting all these other like Beachbody celebrities, and, you know, getting to see that we're all just real people. I think that was probably one of my biggest takeaways from my first summit, was just realizing that there is no such thing as a Beachbody celebrity. We're all just normal people that just are doing something different with our life. And, you know, and it made me realize that I had every opportunity to be on stage or to be in the elite section or whatever it was. I had every opportunity as the next person to do that for myself. And so, yeah, so that's pretty much what I wanted to share with you guys. It was really difficult that first year, especially after just having Mikey. We were still figuring out medical bills and figuring out, well, we're still figuring out the whole parenting thing, but you know, having to leave him, it was our first time, you know, leaving for a long period after, you know, he was only 3 months old. So it was a big commitment and a big sacrifice, but it definitely paid off. And I would, you know, urge anybody that was on the fence to really just go for it and, you know, put that faith into your business, and it's going to really show huge for your team.
Awesome. Thank you, Jennifer. Hey, before I pass the time over to Lori, are you, and you can say no, are you comfortable sharing? You've been to Summit now for 2 years.
Uh-huh.
That first year you went, you put money on a credit card. Doubt, like kind of that fear of, are we going to be able to pay this if people don't show up, I guess is the word. Are you comfortable putting out to the universe a little bit further than you did just to me on your next big goal?
Oh,
So
yeah.
what can happen?
You mean the one with my phone?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know where it is. Okay. Well, remember when I said that, you know, the Success Club thing, it took me 2 years to finally agree. So I did Success Club 5 All-Star. Then the next year I did Success Club 10. And the way that I got myself to really believe I could do it was I made Success Club 10 the picture of the All-Star thing as the background image on my phone. So I actually, you know, I got Success Club 10 All-Star last year, and I haven't changed my phone background still from January until just a couple of weeks ago. And it kind of made me realize that I haven't set a new big scary goal for myself. And so I shared with Scotty a couple of days ago that I set a new goal. I finally officially changed my my phone background, which Mike is looking. Oh, it's over here. So I set a goal now to be in the Beachbody Millionaires Club. So,
look at all the messages you have.
Yeah. I'll show you guys.
There it is.
Oh, I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, we can see it kind of behind the apps.
Yeah, here it is. So it's just a huge goal because, you know, somebody like myself working $30,000 a year as a paralegal and Mike working $30,000 a year as a police officer, you know, having that kind of an income is not anything that we ever thought that we'd be able to create for our family. And that's kind of the reason why I think it's an awesome goal that we set, because just I know what we're going to be able to do with that, you know, with creating a legacy for our family and helping his parents and my parents and, you know, continuing to pay off debt that we have. So I'm really excited and scared about it, but I'm excited because I know it's going to happen because it's my phone wallpaper. So it has to happen.
Visualize. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. I wanted you to get that a little further out into the universe than just to me. So awesome. We're excited for you to do that. And thanks for being vulnerable and sharing with us that, you know, the first 2 years you weren't, you know, at Summit and, you know, what happened after that. You know, that's the year you hit Success Club 5 the first time. The next year, the first year you hit Success Club 10. So it all aligns back into being all in. Being at the Success Club, being at the events, and now on this next goal, which we should hit by March. So awesome. Thank you for sharing. And I will, if you could just mute yourself, I'll pass it over to Lori. Lori, are you there?
I am here.
Awesome. Let's hear from Miss Lori.
Good evening, everyone. It's so cool to see everyone's faces on this. Well, I want to talk about my Summit experience. Okay, to be honest, the whole reason I really signed up as a Beachbody coach is because I saw everyone have these pictures on Summit, and it was the super workout. I was like, who does not want to do this super workout? It was crazy. And I knew I wanted to get the shake. I knew I wanted the discount, but I was like, you know what? I am signing up immediately. And I told my husband, who thought I was crazy for buying P90X. He was like, you are ridiculous. I bought it. He did it. Won the Beachbody challenge. He has a rock hard body. All that happened. So he was like, you know what? I'll go with you. But he was still like iffy on the business side, you know, because Scotty said I was an attorney, working a lot, working every weekend, working till midnight, almost every night. And so I took him with me. And I'm telling you, he did a 180. Okay, he went from not supporting me at all, rolling his eyes when I was on my phone or on Facebook, just saying, you know, you make this much money in this job, yet this job you're not making nearly as much, but you're spending all your time doing that. And he finally understood, and he finally wanted to support me doing something that made me happy. And so I think the reasons why people should go, and I came up with something, is fun, fire, fitness. Okay. Those are the 3 reasons you should go. Fun, okay? It is crazy, crazy, crazy fun. And just all these little things with our team. It's good being on Scotty's team because, you know, we see him in the hall, we give him a high five. He's like a celebrity there, and just walking with him, everyone's like, whoa, you're walking next to Scotty Hobbs. And I'm like, yeah, I'm cool. I'm walking next to Scotty. And it's just a really good time. It's fun to meet with people. You stay up late. It's kind of one of those experiences. Remember when you were like in 7th and 8th grade? And I don't know if it's true for guys. I think so. You had sleepovers and you did all that stuff. And as an adult, you really don't have time in your life to hang out with friends. You know what I mean? You're just always in your home and doing your own thing. This brings you back to that time. I'm telling you, it took like 15 years off my life. I mean, I was there hanging out with people, doing all this stuff. I mean, I don't even go out anymore. Over there, I was like putting on lipstick, had my dress on, had my heels on. It was just an amazing, amazing, amazing time. Now, fire is the second thing. And the reason I say fire is because you sit in these workshops and you are pumped. It's kind of like listening to personal development, but you're seeing people. It's not like a book that you're reading and someone is there, you know, he's an author of the book, and you're like, oh, of course something good's going to go in his life. He's the author of the book. No, these are people that you know. You know what I mean? Like Kendra, I remember when she started as a coach. These are people that you know, and you see them rise up the ranks right before you, right before your eyes, and you see what they're doing, and they share all their secrets with you, and you are just pumped. It's the only word I can just say. And it's funny because my husband, who was not involved with Beachbody at all, he's just one of my discount coaches. He sat through them all. He's like, no, I wanted to hear it. He was interested in it. So, I mean, you can take anyone, bring them in there, and they're going to love it, and they're going to go home And that passion that they had is going to explode. When I came back from Summit, I went out to lunch with a friend. Before, I had asked her if she wanted to do P90X, and she's like, oh, let's go to lunch. And I remember I was like, oh, God, we got to go to lunch. You know, I'm just like, buy it. Do I have to go to lunch? That was back in the day when I didn't realize that you have to have a relationship and talk to people on the phone and meet with people. So I went to lunch with her, and I was just talking to her. And I mean, I was exploding out of my seat. She went home that day, not only got the P90X3, but she became a coach just because she wanted some of that energy that I have. And she's a diamond coach now, and she's also an attorney. And she said it completely changed her life around. Now, the third thing is the fitness, and that is the super workout, working out with Tony Horton, working out with Shaun T, Leandro. You see these people in the hallways, you're taking selfies with them, you're having an amazing time. Just you're really pushing yourself to work out, and I highly recommend it to all of you. I recommend bringing a team if you can. Get team t-shirts. Oh, by the way, Coed Monkey, if you put in the code Beachbody, you can get like 10% off your shirts. I know the owner, so he did that for us. And also just think about bringing a team and push for rank, push for diamond, because you're going to want to be diamond when you go there. Go there anyway if you're not, but just push for it because you're just going to feel better. You're going to have a little diamond thing on you, and you're just going to have an amazing time. So hope to see you guys there. You have to unmute yourself.
Thank you, Lori. I still remember with Lori, and I remember it was at the MGM Grand. It was just Lori, Gabby, and me. It was really late, and we were standing in front of the frozen ice cream place. Remember, we were just laughing. I don't remember what we were talking about, but we were just like you said, we were having a fun time.
I was laughing at catching all these Beachbody people eating frozen yogurt at midnight.
So we got to see the real life. No, but it was absolutely fun. That's where we got to really build a relationship with Lori and get to know who she was. And so we want you there. Thanks for sharing that with us, Lori.
Yep.
And we'll remember, I wrote them down. Fun, fire, and fitness. Okay. Next, we're going to hear from Jenny. Jenny, are you there? Let's see.
Yes, I'm here.
All yours.
Okay, cool. For me, I think I'm like a sapphire personality. So I'm really all about fun and recognition, and I love that. And I think that's what really drives me in my business is being able to go to these events and to just like have fun and be surrounded by such positive, like-minded people. And like I personally, I'm like an outgoing introvert. So I can't like just sit at my chair all day working and then not have some kind of reward at the end. So I'm always working for something, and what really pushes me is being able to earn a free trip to Cancun or earn success starters to go to Vegas, which was last year. So that was, in the very beginning, that was my number one goal as a new coach, was to hit success starters. So I was able to go, and I got my free ticket, and there wasn't really like a huge financial investment because I got it paid for, and then I was in Vegas, and it was like 4 hours away from where I live, so I just drove there. And it was like so much fun. I love events, so I always have a good time. But I was able to perform in the Beachbody talent show, which was like super cool. And it was in the MGM Grand, and I was with a coach, and we got to dance to like a 2-minute song, and we were just like shaking our butts and like being crazy, but it was so much fun. And I got to perform in front of like 10,000 of those coaches. So that was really fun. But what I also think too is, like you're doing this business all by yourself, and you are probably the only person in your hometown who's doing Beachbody. You're the Beachbody coach out of all of your friends. And so you're kind of like the crazy one. And so when you go to Summit and you see 300,000 other crazy people, you're like, you know what? I'm not that weird after all. So it just really like helps you to feel like you belong somewhere, and that you're totally awesome for doing what you're doing in this business. And I think for me, like going to the trainings and just hearing all the stories and being surrounded by all these successful people, I think in the beginning, before I went to go to Summit,
I was still scared to share the opportunity, like the business opportunity with people. I still had that fear of judgment and fear of rejection, that people would think I'm some crazy person for trying to give them a business opportunity. But then after Summit, I had like the biggest conviction that people need to know about this business. Like, it wasn't even like a fear. It was like, I was literally pulled. I was like, I need to tell all these people in my life because this is the craziest thing ever. Like, everyone needs to know. So I think if you're iffy and you're scared about being rejected by people when you present the opportunity, being able to go to Coach Summit is going to completely erase that fear for you. And also, it just like locks in your investment in this business. It locks in your drive to keep going no matter all the failures that might happen. I think for me, it didn't matter if I failed, if I, didn't hit Success Club 1 month. It didn't matter. For me, after this event, I was like, I'm going to keep doing this business no matter what. It doesn't even matter because this business is amazing and I can never stop doing what we're doing in this business. So those are my takeaways from Summit.
Awesome. So it was like an awesome date, huh? You fell in love with Summit and you had to tell everybody about it. So I remember your Beachbody talent dance. That was awesome, performing in front of 10,000 people. But I want to ask you a quick question I was thinking about while I was here. So a cool thing has happened since last Summit in your life. So can you tell us how cool it is or what it feels like to be a full-time coach? Because you just quit your job and this is all you do now. Can you tell us what that feels like?
Okay, one more thing that I forgot. Right after Summit, I turned diamond. So all the things that I learned at Summit, I turned diamond like a few weeks after. So if you guys want to hit diamond, you should go. But yeah, so I quit my job and I was scared. And when I put my 2 weeks in, like my heart was racing because I was like, oh my God, it's happening. I'm really doing this. But the moment like I had my day off, like I was done, I just felt liberated. Like I felt so free. I felt amazing that there's no words that can describe being able to do what you want to do and not be held back from a job or, whatever's holding you back from living your dream life. And I think for me, like every single day I kept thinking, I want this dream life, and I envisioned it and I made it happen. So you just have to like think about it and send it out to the world. Use those positive energies.
Awesome. Thank you, Jenny. And we're super proud of you. So thank you for sharing that with us. And we're excited to see you at Summit. And you better teach us some of those size moves, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now we're going to move on to Kendra. And I believe Kendra has a slide to share. She does. So Kendra, I think I might have to make you the presenter. Let me check real quick.
Let me see. I'll just see if I can share my screen.
Can you do it? Sweet.
Can you see it?
Yeah, we can see it.
Well, good. That worked.
That was perfect.
So I just have to tell you all that part of the reason I, told Scotty it'd be a good idea to do this is because Summit just made such a difference for me. It was such a game changer in my business. And I just think it's important to convey that to you all because, you all have these goals and dreams in your life. And we want you to know that this is going to help you get there and get there faster and really understand what we do as coaches. So I have to take you back to 2 years ago. It was 2013, and I had been a coach for 4 months. I was an emerald with 2 coaches, exactly, like barely hanging on emerald. And, I was new at this. My husband didn't necessarily really know what I was doing, except I was getting up every morning. I was up early, and I was on Facebook. So I'm like, I need to go to this event in Las Vegas. And you can stay here with our 2-year-old and 4-year-old. for this new thing I'm doing. And, you know, as most spouses would, it's just like, what is this, you know? And it was one of those things where it was multiple conversation, and talk about having to accept no's. I had to accept some no's, and then I'm like, okay, I'm going to bring it up again because I heard Scotty talk about it, and I had this vision for my life that when my daughter went to kindergarten 18 months later, that I wanted to be working from home and I wanted to have a flexible schedule. And I'm like, Scotty told me that this is going to help me, so I have to go. So after bringing it up many, many, many times, I finally got my husband to agree that I'm going to go to Summit. So I'll tell you, I had never met anyone in person, including Scotty. So I knew, like, I didn't know anyone there. I was going from the DC area to Vegas. It was like flying halfway across the country. And I was rooming with these 3 other women that I didn't know. Like, we just got hooked up on Facebook. So it was a very uncomfortable feeling. And I know that a lot of you new coaches, you probably feel that way. You think, I'm new, I don't know anyone. But I want you to know I got through it. I had a blast. And it's worth all those fears that you have to just push through them and get there. So I'm a visual person, and a lot of coaches have asked me, they're like, Kendra, you keep talking about Summit, but like, what is it? What do you do there? You know? And so I wanted to show you all some pictures because I just think it gives you more. I mean, it's never going to give you the full picture, but it gives you more of a sense of what it's like. So this is actually my first year, like right after I met Scotty and Gabby in Vegas at the MGM. And let me tell you, okay, I've worked for a lot of companies. You know, I had a 15-year career before this, and I've been to a lot of parties and events. No one knows how to throw a party like Beachbody. I mean, it's just like, I don't know. They know how to do it. So this was the Success Club party my first year. And I know this year they're doing a party as well. But it's just fun to like get together with other coaches, to hang out, take pictures, talk. So that was one of the events. This was from last year's Success Club party with some of the women on my team. And it was, you know, I had a small team there. I had 5 people there last year. But it was just so good to build those relationships and get to know them better, and to just, I don't know, to feel more of a unit. So some of those of you who are already coming, if you can share this video with people on your team and get them on board, it's just a great way to continue to build those relationships. This is me and Lindsay, and I had only ever seen her, you know, on Facebook. And so I saw her at the white party on the right. That was the first year. And I remember, I think like Scotty introduced me, and I'm like, hi, I'm Kendra Fletcher. And she's like, oh, I know who you are. And I was like, yeah, I really want to do this, and I want to quit my job. And there were like all these people around, all this music, and she looked at me and she's like, you can do it. Like, I believe you can do it. And it just, like, that moment made such a difference for me, because it was like, that's what we all need to hear, you know, we can do it. So that was really cool to be able to meet her. And, you know, the other thing about Summit is there's a lot of people there. So you're in line for something, you're at a session, you just meet the most amazing people and incredible stories. I mean, and like everyone's nice there too. So it's like you can just start talking to the person next to you. But this is just one example. This is a woman I met. I think she's in her 70s. And I think she was on the Body Beast infomercial, but I was just talking to her and about her story. She has, I think she had both hips replaced as well. And it's just so cool to see how Beachbody actually impacts people's lives like that. So like the other said, as you're walking around, you just see people. And this is Janelle Summers, Shalene's sister, who I'm like a huge fan of. And then I saw her the first year. And then the second year, we were in line at the hotel check-ins. I'm like, hey, let's get a picture. But it's just really cool to like talk to the people that you see on Facebook and stuff. And like someone else said tonight, just realize they're real people, just like us. The celebrity trainers, you get to run into them, get pictures with them. There's Shanti, who was doing an interview, and Tony Horton, who was talking, and Sagi. So that's just really cool to see, the trainers that you work out with each day. So last year I had this coach message me while I'm at Summit, and she had a really specific question about Shakeology. And she's like, while you're there, do you think you could ask the creators of Shakeology this question? And I'm thinking, like, how am I going to, like, I think I messaged her back and said, well, I doubt that I'll see them, but I'll try. And I was in the core, which is like one of the main areas, and I run into Darren, and I'm like, hey, I have a question for you. And I asked him the question, and I got back to my person. But it's just really cool to see these people in person and get to talk to them. There's also the workouts. So Shalene, I'm like a huge fan of her. So I got in line really early because I wanted to be near the front. As you can see, I did. So it's just cool working out with them live. This is Sean T and his crew. Being in a room with hundreds of coaches and the music going and Sean T like running around the room, like pushing you, it's like nothing else. And this is the super workout. So on the last full day, they bring out all the trainers. So you get like 15 minutes with each trainer, and it's amazing. It's so cool. Oh, and you can get really good apparel there for those people who care about it. Now, I will tell you, the first year I went, I didn't buy anything. I really liked it, but I was like, I wasn't making much money as a coach, and this trip was already a stretch, so I didn't buy anything. But last year, when things were a little better, I got some stuff. But it's cool. You can get the brand new product, so like you'll be able to get size there and be one of the first people to get it. So that's kind of cool. And the trainings. I know a lot of people said, a few of you said you didn't remember anything specific from the trainings. And I would probably agree with that, but I think there was just so much knowledge that I picked up that just like went into my brain and gave me ideas for how I wanted to change things. It's like whenever I was there in a training session, I was like writing notes and kind of lighting up with different things I wanted to do. And so I absolutely think those are of value. They have all like the top coaches doing these trainings and sharing what they do. And all we have to do is duplicate it. So I thought those were really fantastic as well. And then you have the speakers. This is Darren Hardy, the author of The Compound Effect, and Diana Nyad. She was there. Just so inspirational and such an opportunity to hear these like famous speakers, be able to share with you. And these are the two speakers that are coming this year, which I'm really excited about. And okay, so when I went the first year, my goal was to eventually quit my job. But it's like, I was like, is this company, like, is it shaky? Could it go under? What is this really about? What are the values of our company, and do our leaders operate with integrity? And being able to hear Carl and John Congdon and Jeff Hill and Michael Neiman, being able to hear them speak and talk about the culture of who we are and our genuine mission to help people live healthier and more fulfilling lives, it just made me believe on a much deeper level that I'm where I'm supposed to be, and that this is legit, and it's an amazing company that we've got amazing leadership who, you know, really cares about the coaches, the customers that we're working with. So that was a big deal for me, because I thought, if I'm leaving a very secure job, like, I got to know that I believe in this and that I believe in our leadership and that this is going to be around. So that was another aspect of it. So I remember the first general session I went to. This was it. They brought Carl out, like, flying across the stage. They like to do great entrances. And I was sitting right here up in the stands. I'm like this little Emerald coach, and my roommates hadn't arrived yet. So I was like, I just went by myself to this thing. And I was just, I don't know, when you see the lights and the excitement and hear the stories, it just, I don't know, it kind of blows you away. And you get to see the new product launches. So I remember I'm like watching all these coaches when they're doing recognition on the stage. And I was like, I'm going to be on that stage next year. I was like, I'm going to do whatever it takes. I'm going to be on that stage next year. So that's kind of what drove me to hit Success Club 10 for 12 months, because I was just like, I'm going to be on that stage. Like, it was important to me, and not necessarily to be on stage, but just the what that signified to me. And I'm now in my 25th month of Success Club 10. So I will say that doing that for a year really set a strong foundation and really just helped the momentum in my business. Oh, this is some of the recognition of some of the coaches. It's just so amazing. And then I got to meet Carl backstage when I went for the Success Club 10. When I got on stage last year, he was just like sitting back there waiting until he went on next. So got to sit down and talk with him a little bit. So you can just kind of see the types of experiences you have there. I hope that like gives you a little bit more of a visual of what it's like. And I will tell you, I was a financial analyst. That was my last job. And so I really like to see the numbers. And I know a lot of coaches are like, this is an expensive trip. You know, I don't know if I can afford it or if it's going to pay for itself. And what I want to tell you is that whatever you pay for this trip, you're going to get it back. You're going to get some of it back immediately, like that week. But your income going forward is just going to grow in a crazy way. And I like to see the real deal. So I'm showing you my numbers. This is back from 2013. And, you know, up until then, I was making, you know, probably an average of $200. And in the one summit week, I earned $626, which I was like, oh my gosh. And that pretty much paid for most of my trip in that 1 week. And then I came home and told my husband, I'm like, see, I earned back the money. But you can see that after the summit, you know, there's more 300, 400, then getting up to 500. It's just, there's what we call the summit effect. And I just want you to know that, like, it's real. So this was last year, and you can see I was like in the 400, 500 range, 600. And then summit week was 1470. And then you can see how it went up from there into the thousands. So yeah, and let me show you one other one. This was one that Ashley Ray's put together of just different people at different levels, and you may not be able to read all the detail, but what I want you to know is this is an investment in you, and you are the most important thing in your business. You're what people are buying, and you will, if you apply what you learn, and if you use that energy and belief that you get at the event, you are going to make enough to pay for that event. You know, you are going to see a really substantial return on investment. So I just put a couple quotes in here at the end to kind of wrap things up. I love this. Surround yourself with people who are only going to lift you higher. And if you come to this, you're going to have like 25,000 people lifting you higher. And I do think the energy and just the people you talk to and the experience, it's something that you'll really carry forward. You know, even though it's a once a year event, I carry forward that feeling throughout the year. I like this one. Doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. And I think this is so true. And one of the biggest things I got from Summit is just belief. Like, I came back and I was like, I believe in this. I believe in the company and the mission. I believe in myself. I believe I can do this. And it really, not that it completely erased the doubt, but it really helped just strengthen that belief and reduce the doubt that, yes, I can do this. And when you believe you can do something, you know, you go forward and do it. And then I found this one. Personal development is a major time saver. The better you become, the less time it takes you to achieve your goals. And I would just ask each of you to think about your why. What is your deeper reason for doing this? What things about your life, you know, do you want to change? And the question is, do you want to get there faster? You know, do you want it to take whatever, 3 years, 4 years, or do you want it to take 18 months? That's what this is going to help you do. And I just share this because some of you all may know my story, but one of my big goals, like working full time, was I just didn't like it because I didn't have choices about spending time with my kids. And I knew that when my daughter went to kindergarten that I wouldn't be at the bus stop with her every morning because I had to be at work at the time her bus came. It was just so important to me. That was like my why for the whole time. I was like, I'm going to be at that bus stop. I'm going to be at that bus stop. And this opportunity is what allowed that to happen. And that's why I think sharing about Summit is so important, because you all have a why that's deep for you, whatever that may be. Having more freedom with your time, spending more time with your kids, you know, not having to worry about debt all the time, whatever that is for you, that's important. You know, it's really important. And Summit is something that's going to help you make that a reality in your life. You know, I was there in September, and the picture on the bottom right is from today, because my daughter told me last night that they were having something at 2:00 at the school today and that she wanted me to come. And I had meetings with other coaches at the time, and I was like, of course I'll be there, because I knew I would reschedule my calls, that I'm my own boss. And for me to be able to tell my daughter, yeah, I'll be there, that just means everything to me. It was worth everything to be able to have that. And so I just ask that you think about your why and how important that is, and use that to help you make this decision. And I remember Scotty saying on the calls when I was a new coach, he was like, just get there. Just get there. Like, ride a bus. You can sleep on a sleeping bag on the floor. Just make it happen. And there are so many stories from, you know, top coaches. I know Brigitte Linford and one of the other top 10 from last year. They like barely got to Summit, were sleeping on a couch or on the floor, just like got there. And it was what made all the difference. So if you know what you want, you know, your why, and you want it bad enough, just find a way to meet us at Summit. So thank you all.
Thank you, Kendra. That was absolutely awesome. I want to thank all these amazing ladies for sharing their experience of Summit. Raise your hand if you think Summit's going to be important for you in your business. I know some of you may not be able to, and some of you may still have the opportunity to figure out a way to get there. As she was going through those quotes, the quote that comes to my mind is you can have all the training and tools in the world to become successful, but until you believe in yourself, none of that will matter. And what I've heard from each one of these coaches, and specifically from Kendra at the end, is she believed in the company. She believed in herself. She believed that this was possible for her. And that's why she's taking her daughter to the school, going to school at 2:00 with her daughter, taking her daughter to the school bus every day. It's because it was fully ingrained in her that this company was a company that would be here, that she could back and support, and that she could be a part of for, her entire life. So remember that quote as you move forward. Yes, we do have amazing training. Systems, Kendra, if you want some systems, Kendra's got plenty of them for you to watch on YouTube. But there's tons of stuff out there for us to learn from, but that's the one most important thing that you'll ever get. Just like when Kendra shared about Lindsay, just saying, I believe you can do this. That, that was all it took. And that's sometimes all it takes for each one of us is just somebody to tell you that they believe in you. And I want you guys to know, even though we're not one-on-one right now, if you're at Summit, I guarantee I'll tell you the same thing, but I'm going to tell you right now, I believe each and every one of you guys can do this. I believe that you can achieve any goal that you guys set in your life. And the last two takeaways I want to give you guys about Summit that I jotted down as I was listening to these amazing coaches is, sometimes, each one talked about how cool it was, how fun it was to be around people, meeting these coaches, the excitement, the trainers, the CEO, like you're meeting all these people, right? So a lot of times we're here in our office, in our home office, which could be the kitchen table, could be a bedroom, could be the living room couch. My office has been in every single one of those places. And you're sitting here and you're messaging people, you're building relationships, maybe you're on the phone with people. And, a lot of times they're telling you no, or it's not for me, they're giving these excuses. And a lot of times, this is my personal opinion, I feel they think, and I think it's my opinion because it's what I experienced before I became a coach, is I'm like, that's a weird Facebook thing. They're doing some weird Facebook thing, right? They're like messaging me. They're like putting all this inspirational stuff on Facebook. And so like for me, what sold me on becoming a coach was honestly, one day I was mad at work because I didn't know how to pay the bills after my third daughter was born. And I was sitting in my cubicle and I saw all these coaches that I was watching on Facebook thinking that's a weird thing they're doing. I saw them taking pictures on a cruise ship together. And I was like, whoa, that's like a real thing. They really know each other. They're really hanging out together with these trainers. I want to hang out with those trainers. I want to hang out with cool people like that. And that was the day I signed up as a coach on April 11th of 2011. So what I'm telling you about that is right now you may be getting a ton of no's. You may be getting people with excuses. But I guarantee you the moment that you're taking pictures with all of us and you're having a great time in Nashville and you're showing pictures like Kendra showed, in her slides, your friends are going to be like, holy crap, Ken's my neighbor. I see him down there. Like, that thing you're doing looks really fun and exciting. Like, tell me more about what you do. And that's where you get to come back just like Jenny did. And she became Diamond within a couple weeks because her friends that were telling her no and wondering if this was a real thing or not saw that this was real. They saw her dancing on stage with her videos and her photos. They saw her hanging out and learning and talking about everything that was going on. And they took her serious. That's what I think it is like if you really have a goal like Kendra has, had of leaving her job, or a goal like I had of retiring my wife, when you make that investment, you're showing the world and yourself that you are serious about this. If you're not even thinking about going, you're not serious about your goals yet. You don't have a deep enough reason to hit your goals because you haven't even thought about making that investment, which you see every successful coach doing. So if you haven't made that choice yet and this call is making you think about it, dig into really, like Kendra said, your why. Why are you going to do this? And then take yourself, take that and make yourself take yourself a little bit more seriously, like making that commitment on that level. And then I'm going to share something with you as the last thing. Kendra said it would speed up your business, right? It'd speed up everything that's going on in your business. And I had a visual why she was saying that. So I'm going to share it with you guys to end it out. If any of you guys back in the day, did you play Mario Kart ever? Raise your hand if you played Mario Kart, right? I know some of you guys have played that. You're driving on the thing, and then there's a little lane with all the fast arrows. You hop on that lane, and you're like, phew, you go flying ahead of everybody else. That, my friends, is what Summit is going to do for you. So hop on the arrow lane, and let's get you guys to your goals faster. So once again, thank you guys for hopping on, and we'll see you on the call next Thursday and registering for Summit. If you have questions, see you later. And if you have questions, reach out. See you guys then.